let's talk about the dynamism. The United States was the only superpower after the collapse of the Soviet Union, but in a very short amount of time, China rose up, the European Union consolidated, India has been rising, Brazil as well. There are a number of players now that, depending on the region or even internationally, can be considered very, very powerful and influential all over the world, all of the time.
All of those are superpowers, all that you just mentioned?
No, particularly China, the European Union, and the United States. To be a military or diplomatic superpower requires a certain economic foundation, right, to project that power. The European Union today is still, despite the entire crisis that they're facing right now, still the largest economic zone in the world. Their decisions around trade and access to their markets shape politics and decisions all over the planet every single day. Their aid spending, their agricultural policy, you name it. No matter how dysfunctional or pessimistic one is about the Eurozone, it is a absolutely pivotal diplomatic anchor of the world.
And it's going to stay that way?
And it's going to stay that way. You have probably spoken to countless guests and individuals who are very cynical about the Eurozone. I have a very different view, because the political evolution of Europe has locked in certain decisions and institutions and practices, things like the Eurozone, things like the Commission and the Parliament and so forth. These things will not be reversed anytime soon. It is far costlier to break up the Eurozone and Europe than it is to, in fact, double down. And what we've seen over the decades is that Europe learns from crisis, and it winds up widening and deepening. I truly believe that 5 to 10 years from now, the European Union membership will be larger. It will go from 27 to maybe 30, 35 countries. The Eurozone will also be larger, because we don't live in the 1970s and 80s anymore when simply devaluing your currency was a viable strategy, and the capital markets would come in and ride your currency back up again. There's no confidence in small peripheral currencies anymore that lack fundamentals. So unless it's the pound sterling, the Norwegian kroner, the Swiss franc, the Singapore dollar, these economies have strong fundamentals. You can't say that about Greece. Today, why would you go in if they were to revert to the drachma? Why would you go in there when you can be buying really strong emerging market long-term debt? Or if you could be buying corporate bonds? There's a lot of options there. So we can't have the same economic theoretical mentality today that we had 20, 25 years ago. I think the peripheral European countries realize this. I think that Greece will stay in. I think Iceland will join. I think quite a few smaller countries are going to join the Eurozone. So I think it will recover. I think it will expand. We wouldn't be talking about the European Treasury today were it not for this crisis. So I said they learned from crisis.